I'm here with Mike McHargue, better known as Science Mike, who is an author, podcaster, and speaker who travels the world helping people understand the science of life's most profound and mundane experiences. His best-selling debut book, Finding God in the Waves, has helped thousands to understand faith in the 21st century. Mike is the author of Ask Science Mike and co-hosts the Literalist podcast with his friend Michael Gungor. Thank you, Mike, for joining us today.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
In our January webinar, Mike is going to have a chance to tell us a lot more about podcasting and how he's been successful in that. But he's also a relatively new author, and our audience consists of quite a few other folks who are relatively new authors. So what kind of advice do you have for someone who is just getting into their book authoring career?
I'm really glad to get to answer a question like this, because so often the people answering this question can barely remember what it's like to be a brand new author. But I am literally a brand new author. My book has been out for 3 months, and I've had such a good time, book touring and flying across the country and meeting, a few hundred people in each city who want to talk about the book. And this, I'm living this dream that so many of us who want to write hope for. And I really thought about maybe like 4 ideas that really helped me in the process. Because writing a book is hard. Writing long-form content is hard. For that matter, if you're not writing much right now, releasing a blog post is hard because you're judged on your thoughts and your words in a very intense way when you write that isn't the same as when you speak or when you just have conversation. So the first thing I would say comes from Ira Glass, who's a great storyteller. And he said, just remember, your writing will be bad at first. The whole thing is you have a sense of taste that makes you understand what good writing is. And at first, your sense of taste is here, but your talent is only developed here. So you have to listen to your sense of taste telling you this isn't good enough. But it's only through repetition that your work starts to catch up with your sense of taste. And in order to move this lever, move this idea of how your voice is developed on the page, there is absolutely no option other than to write often, to write badly, and to write at length. I wrote daily for multiple hours a day for 3.5 years, just trying to get my voice onto the page and figure out how to structure a book before I ever actually tried to write a book proposal and draft to approach a publisher. There's no such thing, I don't think, as an overnight writing success. Even the most talented people will tell you how long they struggled to master the mechanics of writing. So don't be discouraged. This is how you become a good writer. Now, to feed the engine of your creativity, make sure that you read a lot. Read over and over authors whose voices wake you up, who make you see the world in a new light, who help you feel an emotion. How do they do that? Read more of their work, and the work that really resonated, read it over and over. Grab a highlighter and don't highlight key ideas. Highlight key phrases that led you to accept the idea. Highlight phrases that led you to feel something about the idea, and study intuitively, really, how those words did that. The more authors whose work blows you away, you contemplate deeply, the more your brain will move towards communicating in a similar manner. That doesn't mean you're taking someone else's tone of voice, because the number of people you study and listen to, it'll be unique from anyone else and will be combined with your own life experience. So your writing's going to be bad at first, but don't be afraid to write often and read a lot. And the last thing I would tell you, and I do this all the time, is start to narrate your day. Part of what writers do is observe life as it happens to figure out how to tell it as a story. So as you move through your day, think of those moments that have a cinematic quality. Even mundane moments can have a cinematic quality. And then simply to yourself, narrate in your mind or aloud the moment. If I were to do that right now, I might say that after years of struggling to find his voice, our protagonist sat on a webinar to tell other writers about how to pursue their dreams. It was a beautiful fall day. The light filtered gently through the blinds and created a sense of warmth as he shared from his heart. And you see, I'm taking a moment and watching my own life and turning it into a story. Now, that narration would not win an Oscar, but it develops the discipline of stepping back from the moments of our lives, seeing them as a story, and seeing how to tell that story to other people. And when you sit down the next morning to write, some of those insights that you made the day or the month before or 6 months before will filter into your work as you tell good stories to others.
Wow, what wonderful insight and great learning that you're able to express to folks. I think that you've really encapsulated Frederick Buechner's listening to your life, and not only listened, but learned how to articulate it very, very well. So thank you for that. I think that's really wonderful things for folks to hear.
Thank you.